Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to another rainy day here on the Performium Skyblock server. And I decided to, holy cow, I decided to get some recording done over here because since I got the YouTube rank, I have been branching out into some of the other servers to get started for doing some more series over there, because Performium is, after all, a little bit more than just Skyblock. Skyblock is my home, but I want to also dip my toes in the waters of some of the other servers. Some, not all. Uh, so I've started with the factions server, and if any of you know anything at all about factions, you know that once you get started on a base, you kind of have to finish it before you can move on to something else. So I've spent about a week or so over on factions, and not much time over here on Skyblock. I'm not giving up on Skyblock, don't worry. I just can't leave a great big hole in the side of my wall, and over on factions, and say, oh, no one will come through that. So, walls are up, and now I can start redoubling my efforts elsewhere, including here on Skyblock. So, I decided to do something a little bit different today. Instead of making progress towards one of my builds, because there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of builds that I'm going to be continuing on here, I wanted to sort of give an overview of what there is already, because people who come to my island, uh, even people who come all the time, even some of you who watch the videos, when I say, oh, have you seen the such and such, I get the response of, the what now? So, today I'm going to do just a quick walkthrough, maybe even a showcase of my own island. Hey, why not? So, without any further ado, here we go. Here we are at my warp sign, and I just realized I need to update this to say 500 plus shops, but for now that'll work. And as it says, I've got the shops and theme park over here. It's the theme park, and over there's the shops. Are the shops. English. I can English. But I've got shops all over the place in this direction. On the way to the shops, however, I have the staring contest booth. My little design. You can just see the other person's head. It's kind of creepy, and it's really fun. So, here's where the shop begins. And I have a map of the shop. Now, if you were to take this map and turn the whole thing this way, it would be oriented the same direction as the market lane and shops are themselves. So if I'm looking this way down this part of the road here, it means I am looking, you are here, this way down this part of the road here. So let's take a quick run through of this. We've got wood, well, basically logs, unprocessed wood, a refreshment stand with 2 copies of refreshments again. How? My little book nook for when people want my own books. I have to manually sell those, though. The bakery, as you can see, baked goods and baking supplies, cocoa beans and eggs and whatnot. Hello, Thunder. Oh my. Plant stuff. We've got seeds and mushrooms and vines and flowers and saplings and leaves. All kinds of plant stuff is in here. Another wart. Morbidly curious. Yep, fully stocked. Moving on, there is the stonemason, which I do need to punch this back and make space for the granite and diorite and andesite, as well as the sandstone, and I will also be moving these guys in. And yeah, they're sold out, but just basically a back room. More shops. More shops. That's what I need. More shops. Oh, also, I don't have my shader pack on right now, so banners are actually clear. I can see what the banners look like. It's surreal. The wool shop, I've got, speaking of banners, carpet, and wool, as well as beds. Oh my, I've sold almost all of the beds. And well, that's something, my shops are all designed so that, if you have a raw material that you produce, you can sell it to my shops. And B, if you would rather, you can take those raw materials and make finished products out of them. Yeah, basically, finished products tend to be more valuable to sell to me than selling the bare raw materials. So, if you want to make some money, make some finished products, and then stock me up on the actual raw materials. Like, for instance, here we go. 16 of these for $1. That's what I sell them for, but 16 for 75 cents is what I buy them for the cracked stone brick. But the price for, oh, I don't know, bare cobblestone is lower than that. So if you take the cobblestone, you process it into stone and stone brick and then cooked stone brick and then sell it to me that way, you actually make a profit. And almost all of my shops are set up like that. So you could earn money off of my shops. That's kind of why I built them like this, so people have a way to earn money. I was looking around and no one had done anything like this, really. Down here, the Miner's Delight, this is where all of the diggy stuff is. I need to restock a couple of things. Oh, walked right past this one. We've got the music disc shop, which typically has almost everything in stock. I think that's the rare one, and yeah, I have Strad. I've got plenty of Strad. As a matter of fact, right now I could probably do this challenge multiple times. Get some music going down here. Boop. Oh, note block jukebox. Yep, I've even got 44 jukeboxes left. Moving on to the dye shop slash ice cream parlor. Oh, what was that lag about? All 16 colors of dyes and even some nice little ice cream parlor booths. I had fun making the little tables in there. That was neat. Cooked food, including some of the harder to get stuff like rabbits and rabbit stew. I think I'm out of rabbit stew again. Yep, I am. I'll have to restock on that. People are even buying beetroot soup. Cool. Oh, wait. And I could put... Why is raw fish in here? Oh well. Hold on. I can't hear myself think. Sorry. I forgot how loud this gets. I have my setting turned all the way down. But for some reason, the jukebox and music notes are so deafeningly loud that I can't think. Anyway, prepared food that doesn't have anything to do with the bakery is right there. Hello, pig. Are you smelly? Nope, you're not smelly. Glass shop. I just checked. I need to make some more glass. So that's the thing that I'm going to get working on after I'm done with this little quick rundown tour. I'm going to come into the front part of the bookshop first. This is where the materials portion is, basically the gift shop. We've got books and paper and things for making books, a compass, clock or watch or whatever it's called. Then there are 4 floors of enchanted books, and these are designed such that all the looting are in this aisle, for instance. And it starts in the front with the lowest number, looting 1, looting 2, and then looting 3. The redstone shop. This is typically very low on redstone because redstone is quite the commodity on here. Redstone's used for making automatic thingamabobs and what's-its. So redstone torches, repeaters, comparators. Oh, well, no, I have 61 comparators. That's nice. Pistons. Sticky pistons are in stock, but the regular pistons are out. Neat. All kinds of gadgets and gizmos in there. We have the blacksmith shop. Hello, Ender Chicken. with all of the iron type things, mostly in or out of stock. Who knows? I've got ingots still, so that's good. That is a great sign. This is the other entrance to the written word, the bookshop. Then we have the pet store named Skyblock Buddies, which is the name of the Discord that we're on, with all kinds of pet and animal related things, and heads, and spawn eggs, and iron golem spawners, and all the other spawners. A lot of the spawners are out of stock, but that's just, they come in and out. I can't really manage that because I'm not going to spend real world money on stuff just for a shop here. That's ludicrous to think about. But I do have lots of spawners in stock. It's just a few of my shops are temporarily empty from time to time. Don't worry, I'll get more. It just happens over time. Next up, we've got the potion shop right here at the entrance, or this entrance anyway. We've got a hole in the floor. The means to make a zombie villager into a villager. Splash potion of weakness, golden apple, done. And then in here, we've got the potions that are required for the challenge. Very often these are out of stock. Something else for me to do some busy work. Not all of them are out of stock though. Potion of strength, that's still in stock. Then there are the brewing stands, which makes me wonder. Yep, those are halfway gone. And a bunch of other components as well as some other potions that are common on Skyblock. Potion components including gas tiers, which I am down by half on. And I even still have a few lucky rabbit's feet. Then, over here, we have the processed wood, King's woodworking. And this includes all the finished goods, the wood planks, the slabs, the stairs, the fence, the doors, the trapdoors and signs and ladders and chests and item frames and paintings. My paintings are out. Item frames are still in though. As a matter of fact, I only had one stack in there. People have been selling me item frames. Neat! And, like I said, seeds, so I don't have to spend money on things that people aren't buying all the time. However, if people are buying paintings, I should probably take the seeds out. And this is a growth thing. I'm still reassessing all of the shops. If people are actively buying them, then of course I'm going to make all the room for the shop. For instance, people buy the glowstone, so people can sell me this whole thing full of glowstone. I don't care. $30 for a stack? You want to make $30 for a stack of glowstone? Be my guest. A little nook for all of the some of the rare knickknacks and whatsits and doohickeys, including end crystals. Then there are the combat drops, which I have managed once again to sell out of string. I just noticed earlier. Blaze rods are up though, that's good. Fresh produce, all the different things. This doesn't stay stocked, even though the RGA cake exists. I was kind of shocked. Doesn't keep 100% stocked. Come on, open. Cactus and green dye, slimes and slime blocks. These need to actually be restocked because Enderlady has been doing a lot of buying of slime. Ice and... No, who do I hear? Oh, that must be... There's Smelly! Hi, Smelly. I don't know whose pig that is, who named it, whatever. But there we go, Smelly the pig. Now we're back over here after showing you the ice cream shack. Or the snowball shack. Ice cream? Might as well. No, I have an ice cream parlor in the back. That's the dice. So, anyway, back here at the fishing park, which... free to fish. Anyone can fish it out of anyone's water, and this just is more fun to fish here, and you won't get struck by lightning if you're under the umbrella of the giant mushroom. Oh, in addition, this part of my island is suspended by hot air balloons and zeppelins. So these are hand-designed zeppelins. The air bladders are being held down by these green tarps, which I've designed to stick out to make look separate from the rest of the object. So that's what those are. And I also have these hot air balloons holding up the park here. At the warp, I did not go this direction. I have donations, and there are 4 different price points if people want to donate to me directly. And people have donated, but not much. But anyway, we have the theme park side. But before I go to the theme park side, I did want to mention one of the partially complete attractions over here on the market lane. In different locations around the market lane, there are purple wool, which are objectives of different stages of difficulty of basically a parkour tutorial. You can get successfully on top of each of these purple wool if you know what you're doing and have a bit of practice. Alright, the first of the attractions that I put in was the bouncy castle. Ooh, what was that? Oh, my elytra activated. That was bizarre. I had a slow-mo jump. Cool. And this is just a bouncy castle, and it's still popular. I see people coming over here just to play on the bouncy castle. I'll be following them, and I'll think, oh, they're going to try the maze. Nope, they're going to the bouncy castle, and they still climb this, and boom. Especially people without fly. I guess it really does freak other people out too. But the bouncy castle and the screaming skydive. Go away, Cloud. The screaming skydive here. This was basically my second attraction, and it is just a part or an extension of the bouncy castle. Now then over here, we've got the base plate maze, which you just go into the shack, drop down the hole. There's no way back up unless you have fly, and there's no way out to the exit unless you actually solve the maze. And the maze is 900 rooms, basically identical, except some have doors in different sides, so each one of these little rings is a room down there. And then over here we've got a gigantic chain that leads up into the sky. This is one of my... I had to scramble to get some other projects done, so this one sort of took a back burner, but now that I have a little bit more free time, I can actually get back to work on it. The chain is affixed to the base of what is going to become a full-on cloud. And the cloud is going to have some other clouds that will connect over as a parkour jump course over to this, which is also going to get some clouds installed under it, holding it up, and around as well. But this is the Sky Temple. You even have a winged statue up here. Thought it was a nice touch. Let's see here. Oh, and oops. Let's go back up here. I've got the second greenhouse I made. The first one was down there. I'll show you in a bit. This one is the river greenhouse, and nothing too fancy about it other than the fact that it's very wet in there. You can, by the way, elytra from this chain, from right where I'm standing, if you know how and you have good timing, you can elytra over here with minimal face damage. So you don't have to wait for the parkour to be installed to get over to the Sky Temple. You can parkour your way up the chain and then just glide over here if you have an elytra. So there's that. And you can also glide on top of the giant mushroom here, which is partially complete, not quite done though. This is Sydney the Mushroom, as named by JoJo One Champ, and this is one of the more recent projects that that several of us have been working on, as a matter of fact. Cuddles and JoJo and a few other people, Ender Lady, have just been indispensable with helping on this project. The buttons are not quite done. These buttons represent spores because this is a mushroom. So these are the fungal spores that grow out of the gills and will propagate. And speaking of propagate, here's mushrooms on top, handmade mushrooms. And if you're wondering what this orange stripe is that spirals out from the center, that is actually the road that, or the footpath, whatever you want to call it, that leads from the bottom to the top for those who do not have fly. Anyway, down here at the base of the mushroom, we've got the area of my island that is mostly for function for right now, because I wanted, when I first got started, I wanted to go more for efficiency. So, this is my ISGO. It's on the bedrock, and the actual spawn point of my island was on a piece of dirt right above the bedrock, I believe right about here-ish. And I came in facing this way, looking at this sign. This is the original sign. This grass is untouched. This is an exhibit of how it all started. And I just kind of had the mushroom growing up and around it. Didn't know where things were going to go, so it's just basically playing it by ear on some of the stuff. Like for instance this, the mechanical cocoa bean farm. The half over here had to get knocked out to make room for the mushroom stem. And then all of these cobblestone structures are going to be getting torn down. They're all blocky and obtrusive and hideous. Obviously, the mob tower here isn't going to necessarily be taken out, but instead of being a tree like I hastily cobbled together, this is going to be another sort of mushroom. So I'm going to be replacing the leaves with mushroom blocks and this with, honestly, I don't know. Maybe some more acacia logs, but it's not going to be these jungle. I just wanted to have a tree here so I could have something. But anyway, we've got a standard 1x1 tree farm. 16 trees can grow here at once. We've got the pre-mycelium dark room for mushrooms. Ooh, I hear stuff in the spawner. The mushrooms just propagate onto solid blocks as long as the lighting level is low enough. But in order to keep it more safe, these are slabs, and the only place where things can actually grow are on these solid blocks right there. It's hard to see, I know, but trust me, they're there. Then up here, whoops, up this ladder and then this ladder, I have my contraption that I use for growing plants. And auto breaking them. That's where if I stand there and hold a stack of bone meal and right click at the dirt or at the grass, it will produce grass and flowers, and then the pistons knock it loose and I get a clean slate where I can bone meal again over and over and over and over and over until I'm full on all the things. I haven't done it in a while, but I do have it. My wall of vines, I did discover they don't propagate up, so myth busted on that. My 2x2 tree farm blocked off here so that creepers and things can't fall off of the jungle trees and come get the players. An extra level of safety. I did have to lock this off. My mob spawner is no longer open to the public because people were still abusing it. They were finding new and creative ways of abusing it. Someone came in and, oh, look at all those creepers. Someone came in and stood here and filled every single one of the hoppers with wooden shovels. It took me 4 hours of waiting at the output to try to get all of the shovels out. Every time I thought I had them all, more showed up. It was like they were invisible and still coming in. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I cleared that out, and then I came up here and waited, and looked through some of these, and pulled bunches out of these, and then I checked this, and dumped everything over the edge, and came back, and there were more wooden shovels after I had locked this whole place off. People are still sometimes sneaking in with an elytra through here. Cough, cough. But by the addition of these trapdoors, now even the trolling by throwing things in there is no longer an option. So, thanks to whoever did that, this is now closed to the public. You know who you are if you watch this. Shame on you. Ruining it for everyone. Anyway, speaking of ruining it for everyone, horse traps. Horse traps happen all the time here on Skyblock, so I decided I would take the first 10 of the horses that I could corral and put them in stables here, and these are now my pet dire horses, whatever they are, skeletal horses. Since I installed that, though, I also got more on the island that I've just decided are going to stay here. Whoops. These were originally supposed to be my meat food pens, but I've just kind of ignored the meat food aspect because I'm going to be doing something else. I'm going to be using a more mechanical method for doing the meat food. So, there we go. Whoops. Oh, hey, Fury's on. As I recall, they locked their island to visitors some time ago. I don't know why. But there we go. The meat food, what was supposed to be the meat food pens right here. I tried to go for a little bit more than just cobblestone, a little bit more decorative, but this is still just hastily thrown together and in squares. And it's divided into chunks, just so you know. The chunk crowding is a potential problem, so I have these guys over here. Now, the chunk that these cows are in does go into the villager room, but the chunk border is right here, so I don't even have to worry about it. Even the ones that come in this way. The only location where it's a problem is right here, but I no longer have that set up. The track is kind of useless at this point, or at least this part of it. So, what I'm going to end up doing is relocating all these guys to somewhere else. I still haven't decided where they're going, but it's going to have to move because this whole area, basically from here all the way back to this corner of my property, all the way back over here, like so, all the way back to this spot here. Now entering, there we go. Is going to be the dark forest. It's going to be giant trees, giant mushrooms, poor lighting. There's going to be a giant spider web on it, and that spider web is going to have a giant spider built on it, and inside the giant spider is going to be my spider spawning area. So there's a bunch of relocation that's going to need to be getting done with all the animal pens and the villagers and all that kind of stuff. In the very far back corner is where I'm going to be placing what is eventually going to be my actual house. But I'm not even close to there yet. Oh, speaking of eventual projects over in this area, the firing range practice course, which is going to be an escape the room kind of thing. You had to have your marksmanship up high enough to be able to get out. I went over that in a video. I haven't started building it yet because, well, factions. But this room was my Enderman spawner room, but I have since removed that, and it is getting relocated to somewhere else. So I will be taking this down. But let's see here. Over here, just these standard crops. I can manually harvest them with the RGA cake, or I can hit a button and wash everything out. Right now, the RGA cake does help with like the carrots and the potatoes because people don't always keep me stocked on those. But the nether wart, I think once one person gets one nether wart and one soul sand, everyone's set. Because nether wart is so easily grown that it's just a fire and forget kind of crop. Anyway, some temporary sheep that I keep changing the color of for the projects that I need them for up there. And then after I am done with the bigger projects, ooh, I don't think you want to teleport to me right now, buddy. After I'm done with the bigger projects, I'll be either moving or getting rid of altogether that sheep farm down there and just falling back on the rainbow sheep farm, which here in the next couple episodes on here I'm going to be putting the suspension balloon for this. Oh yeah, Sugar Rebel keeps asking for people who sell mushroom spawners. Sorry, bud, I'm out. That's something I'm not going to spend real world money on, something just to have it in a shop and you buy it. That's not, no, not going to work. Anyway, the next thing that I want to show you is over here. This is technically, I guess, my house, but it's really just my visitor center. People can do the enchanting here. I am going to be putting a full enchanting setup over in the bookshop, but it's just not over there yet. I did discover that for the bookshops, there are at least 3 or 4 different shops that you have to make for each specific book above the lowest level. For instance, if you have an Efficiency 2 book, you can either manually make an Efficiency 2 book by standing here at an enchanting table with a book and some lapis and go, I want to put my lapis on this, and poof, here's just a bare Efficiency 2 book, nothing else on it. That has one item ID. Then there's a different item ID if you have 2 Efficiency 1 books and you craft them together in an anvil. Then there's a different item ID if you fish up an Efficiency 2 book. And then finally, there's a different item ID if you get an Efficiency 2 book from a villager. Up to 4 different item IDs for the same book. So I'm going to have to make some basements. Very annoying, but very necessary if I want to say I've got all the shops. So it's going to have to be something that people are going to have to just bear with for a while. And it's going to make my bookshop so confusing. Why am I going back out of here? Anyway, wall of things, gifts from people and named objects and whatnot. This is basically going to be the visitor center. You can see down to the bottom of the map. There is the map over here in the corner. And this down here, that's the sheep pens that I just showed you. And I haven't updated this in a while, which I should probably go ahead and update this today. As a matter of fact, why don't I make some room for that and do that here now, off camera. Ta-da! Map updated. You can see the Sky Temple, which is a lot bigger than I thought it was. And even the slabs show up on the top of the mushroom. I'm very happy about that. I just realized the carpet actually shows up now. Neat! So you can actually see all the... And there's the sponges. You can... Wow! Well, that's cool. Neat. So there we go. the map. Alright, moving on because this is still, I'm not done. This is taking a while. We have the access to the work barge, and a cow has been shoved down here, by the way. Mitten Pick is down here. We have the work barge, the new and improved work barge. But before I go into that, I've got the tree farm, which if you plant trees there and bone meal, then a tree will grow, get pushed over, then all the trees get pushed over here, then that last row will fill back in. One more tree will get right there. Make sure there's a few leaves on top. Chop once, dig 133 trees. So that's what that is. Anyway, here's the work barge. View from the outside. The decorative portion of it is still not complete yet, but it's one of those things that I am going to get back to now that I'm going to be able to spend a bit more time back over here. I am splitting my time between the different servers, the SMP, the roleplay, the factions, and this, but this is my home, and I want my home to be done and look nice and all that. So anyway, down here, landing platform. This is the aft deck, and immediately you see the only ocean on my island. This is the ocean biome, the greenhouse, the biome in a box. Then up front, I do have the connection to the foredeck, and none of the decks are actually populated with decorative things yet. This was just put together recently, and I haven't actually started building the fun interactive stuff yet. It'll come. I want to get some of my big projects, the meat of them done before I add the potatoes. So then we have access to the main deck down here, from which you can access all the different parts of the ship and also see the engine room, which the engine is a stone generator, smooth stone generator, and it works such that 4 smooth stone are generated over here, then pushed to the middle, and then 4 smooth stone are generated over here and pushed to the middle, and then it just goes back and forth, waiting for it to be dug out, and then it works at a speed such that you don't need any sort of beacon, but if you have an efficiency 5 pick, you can dig all 8 stone almost continuously without having to stop, ever. It is delightful. But anyway, moving back down here. First off, you can hear some chickens. I have a chicken spawner area. So inhumane. Such pain and suffering. Very sad. Lots of chickens died in the course of populating that area. Where'd the feathers go? I know they didn't all immediately get put in there. Did they derp up and out somehow? You saw feathers in there, right? It's not perfect because of how things glitch through corners on Minecraft now, more so than they used to. Sometimes I lose items and I don't know where they go. Maybe it's shifted up here? I don't know. Either they'll turn up or they won't. Maybe they'll show up downstairs. Anyway, chicken slaughtering room up there. Nice little AFK pool. Slime farm where the slimes are attracted to the iron golems. They run into the cactus and die. Access to inside the air bladder, that's what this wool is, and this houses the wheat farm. Push one button up there, and 1 bucket of water comes out there, and 1 bucket comes out there, and everything gets washed into the hoppers. Then I have my smelteries, which I am going to be using to make the glass that I need in the shop. And this is my design. It works perfectly on the server. You just put some fuel in there to make sure everything is fully fueled. You put the thing that you want to cook in here. Hit the lever. Off go the mine carts. Oh, there's no sound. Ooh, look at that lag. And the minecarts go down, populate the furnaces, and then you check for delicious, yummy, wonderful output. Then, I have access back up through there, or I can come straight up into the engine room. I also have here my sheet stone generator, and because of how I had to design the airbag, I have a little bit of the outside visible through there. It's alright, it's fine. But, yeah, we've got two different types of stone generation in here. I've got little side rooms for storage if I need it, and access back down to this deck. And also over here, I've got my second cobblestone generator. I think that just about covers most of it. There is one more portion of this ship that I needed to at least show. I haven't decorated the rooms yet. This is one of the last things on that episode, but the cabins are done. I just need to actually make the portholes, and I need to decorate with the beds and all that kind of stuff and other furnishings. So there we go. The probably hour-long tour, I hope not an hour-long, of my island. It is coming along, and I will probably have, I don't know, another probably 5 hours tour worth of stuff in the future, but for right now, this is what I've got. Whole bunches of different projects all over the place. Lots of things for people to see, lots of things for people to do, and a bunch more coming. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go now. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave a message in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to respond and answer any questions you may have. If you like this video and you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to give a like. I do appreciate that. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go now. Thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night on the Performium Skyblock server, and I will talk to you later.